Live from Las Vegas, Fox 5 News at 10 starts now.
Flames destroy Reno homes, prompting a state of emergency in northern Nevada. The information coming into our newsroom tonight.
And the same weather system bringing us wind for your Wednesday is now sweeping through the Reno area. We'll tell you what that means for those firefighting efforts.
We're seeing occupancy rates go up in hospital beds. We're seeing ICU capacity go up.
I talked to Nevada's COVID-19 task force leader about how they're helping the state during the second wave.
We're very crafty, so we always land on our feet.
Pivoting in the pandemic, performers mastering the art of reinvention, finding new ways to make a living as they all eagerly await the return to the stage.
Hope on the horizon in the race for a vaccine. Our Fox 5 experts weigh in about the crucial months ahead.
Housing help. Resources available right here in Clark County to help anyone make ends meet. How you can tap into millions for federal funds.
We're going to be working this all night and in the coming days.
By fast-moving flames lighting up the sky. And tonight, Governor Sisolak declares a state of emergency as firefighters are on the front lines in Reno.
Just Ted Pretty tracking the conditions crews are up against right now.
Yeah, that's right.
But first, we got to tell you what's happened so far.
The fire perimeter is 1,200 acres. Evacuation orders are in place and will remain up until at least daylight. Crews will work throughout the night, hoping progress has been halted. Reno's fire chief says there are too many spot fires to count, and he estimates at least a dozen homes or other buildings have been destroyed. No injuries reported. Fire investigators are on the scene to determine the cause.
Along with the governor's emergency declaration, the city of Reno and Washoe County made similar moves, and this will ensure that local, state, and federal aid will be available to Nevadans in need. The Washoe County School District canceled classes for tomorrow. So let's take you through what we've been showing you all afternoon. This was the scene in a southwest Reno neighborhood. This is heartbreaking to look at, really. Flames ripping apart these very nice homes. And look at the winds battering around the brush and the firefighter's vest that he's wearing. You can see the winds were definitely a factor. Now, as we move down here, you can see the flames continuing through other neighborhoods in Reno, and you see a line of cars at one point waiting just to get out of the area. A lot of people have been evacuated in these fires. And as we've been showing you on since Fox 5 News at 4 and 5 o'clock this afternoon, a time-lapse video now of the flames in the foothills above downtown Reno. And there are the casinos right there. And you can see the smoke, too, being lifted off. So you got to feel for the people there who are dealing with air quality issues as well. So, Ted, let's bring Ted in right now. This wildfire, as we've seen, fueled by wind. Any relief on the way for fire crews? Yeah, you can see some of those bushes and trees blowing in that video, John, as you mentioned, with the wind out there. Right now in Reno, 15-mile-an-hour winds, but they will be subject to 30, 40-mile-an-hour gusts overnight. That is not good. But now let's get to the good news, and that's the rain shower activity that's trying to move through the southwestern portion of Reno and the rest of the Reno area right now. That is the good news, with not just the rain that's hitting the ground, but also the moisture in the air. The humidity levels will be rising, and that tends to slow these types of fires just a little bit, and that's good news. But take a look at all the rain shower activity. Snow down as low as 7,000 feet overnight tonight, and more rain through the day tomorrow, but also more wind to 30 miles an hour. This is part of the same system that is rolling through our area tonight through tomorrow. Now, the moisture stays well north of us through the Reno area and areas around that portion of the state of Nevada and into California. For us, it just means some windy conditions for tomorrow, not near as strong as what Reno is getting and expecting overnight tonight and for tomorrow. But we'll get more specific with what we expect and how that is affecting those firefighting efforts up there north of us tonight and for tomorrow.
In the meantime, 20 different strike teams, including help from California, have all been deployed to Reno.
I'm extremely proud of the Reno Fire Department, my agency. I think they do tremendous work, but a fire like this, and some of you may have heard me say it, we're a fire service. It takes a village, as it were, to put out something like this. No one fire department can ever be staffed or equipped to handle something like this, so that cooperative effort is tremendous, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Governor Sisolak tweeted this tonight. I want to thank all the first responders, local government agencies, and nonprofits stepping up to assist the community during this emergency event. This truly reflects Nevada's battle-born spirit and our commitment to caring for one another in times of need. For updates as they come into our newsroom, just download the free Fox 5 app and enable push alerts to have those wildfire updates sent straight to your home screen.
Also topping the news at 10 o'clock as COVID-19 cases rise across the state. Nevada's COVID-19 task force is switching its focus to medical manpower. The leader of the task force, Jim Murin, said nurses, doctors, and administrators across the state are struggling to keep up with the demand on patients. Fox 5's Kyla Gaylor talked to Murin. She is live on the Strip now with more.
The task force was created to help the state with whatever it needs. Early on, it was a PPE crisis. Then the task force focused on helping students get connected digitally. Now the two big concerns moving forward, helping schools reopen safely, as well as getting the state more medical backup.
We're not concerned about PPE or testing supplies. We're concerned about manpower.
Nevada's COVID-19 task force leader Jim Murin told me the state has a healthy supply of both PPE and test kits, and they'll keep adding to that stockpile.
We know it's going to be worse before it gets better here.
The more pressing issue are the doctors and nurses who administer those tests, treatment, and contact trace.
The idea of the health department having more people to be able to call, check on people's health status.
Murin told me the manpower issues are across the state in both primary care facilities and hospitals as regular and ICU capacities go up. He said the task force is now focusing its energy on recruiting, training, and volunteering to get more manpower.
So we have a finite amount of resources, so we really have to rearrange what people are doing and how they do it.
The task force has raised $14 million since it was created in March. It's spent $13 million. Some of that money went to a program called Connecting Kids, which helped hundreds of thousands of CCSD students get devices and internet. Now, as CCSD considers a switch to hybrid learning, the task force continues to work with the district.
Saying, how do we help you make sure that your elementary school is as safe and as clean and as prepared as Bellagio or Wynn? That's the goal.
Murin, who's the former CEO of MGM Resorts International, is using his background in gaming to help reach that goal.
The companies on the Strip use software companies that have protocols in place that on a daily basis have basically a scorecard. Was that bathroom cleaned? Was that cafeteria cleaned? What protocols were put into place? So basically taking the best practices of the private sector and saying that we've got to do better for the kids.
Murin said the same kind of system could be implemented within CCSD. And even though the task force only has $1 million left of its money raised, Murin said they will raise more and get it done.
We're not going to wait for the money.
Murin told me making sure teachers and students have a healthy and safe transition back into school is pressing, considering the mental health crisis going on with students right now. Coming up at 11, I talked to Murin about the gaming industry and its recovery. I'll share that part of the story next at 11. Reporting live, I'm Kyla Gaylor, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Live look at the entertainment capital of the world. Some shows have now braved the path of reopening, but so much of the industry is still on hold and without work. Necessity, you could say, is the mother of invention. Performers show us how they are pivoting to make a living.
It's been a very devastating feeling for all of us, I think, in every show.
Zumanity's the latest show to close on the Strip this week in the entertainment capital of the world. 8 months after shows first shut down, only some have returned, and most of the estimated 200,000 workers in the industry face a challenge. How to earn a living now.
And there's so many artists, like in all the shows, like that haven't been able to perform and do what they love to do. We're very crafty, so we always land on our feet.
Brandon Paredes' dream was to work for Cirque du Soleil. He wowed crowds for 13 years in his aerial chain act for Zumanity. 2 years ago, he got his real estate license, and he says that side hustle saved him in 2020.
When we shut down the shows, it was actually a blessing in disguise that I had that extra, side job that I had.
He's been helping other friends pursue their real estate license, too. From new careers.
I want the opportunity to create magical, incredible memories for children myself. And I had this idea.
To launching your own business. Performer Lauren Ashley once did promotions at Zumanity. You've also seen her as Ariel in the Henderson production of The Little Mermaid. She took this time, along with other performers in the industry, to create Princess Parties USA, doing virtual appearances for children or paying visits in small gatherings. She's also a gondolier at the Venetian. Performers say the pandemic is a test of their spirit and creativity.
I have a team of girls that I'm able to now support. That's something that I would love to be able to manage this business and also pursue my own dreams and get back out there on stage. This is going to be over someday, and we're going to be back on stage singing and performing and doing everything that we've trained our whole lives to do.
We never know when we're going to get that phone call to possibly come back. Would I love to return to the stage? Yes, because it's a part of my life and my soul.
Princess Parties USA is giving a free visit from Elsa to brighten a family's holiday. For more information, head to our website, fox5vegas.com. Coming up at 11, more on the balancing act between the push to return to work and staying safe. Employment concern, the dilemma the parents of 10 kids are facing as distance learning draws out. Tonight at 10.
Holiday help, how Henderson police and Valley doctors are putting a Thanksgiving feast on the table.
Ahead in our next half hour, racist rant. A neighbor confronted on camera. Why many are saying thank you.
You're watching Fox 5 News at 10. Local, Las Vegas.
So many local parents continue to struggle through the long haul of distance learning, especially those with a house full of kids. Tonight, Fox 5's Maddie White speaks with the father of 10 on how that family is managing amid that pressure.
The sacrifices being made right now by so many involved with distance learning is awe-inspiring. One father I spoke to pointed out the importance of getting help when you need it.
It's a struggle every day.
These Clark County School District parents have their hands full.
10 kids from 17 down to 1-year-old. Basically 7 of which are in school, going from junior high, high school to elementary school. We have two kids that are in special needs.
Eric works remotely for MGM Resorts.
My performance lags when I'm, having kids up next to me, like even as we speak right now.
She works a night shift during the week to make childcare a possibility while they learn from home, but it's not just parents making sacrifices in the name of health.
Some of our kids are so used to being in school. Even though she loves her teacher, she loves class, but by about the third class of the day, math, like today, she's like, I don't really want to do it. Oh, well, would you like some candy to go, some Halloween candy? Okay, I'll go to class, so I had to coax her. But, it's every day it's a struggle. Every day it's a different battle.
While current case counts aren't promising, Eric says seeing a therapist has been key for his family.
Because if you don't talk to someone, then it'll all, sit inside, and then it'll come out at the wrong people at the wrong time.
He advises other Nevada parents to do the same.
If you're employed, reach out to your, healthcare provider for therapy, because like I did to mine, and for mine, everything was covered for the rest of the year.
Because right now, learning to cope is sometimes all we have.
Do the best you can. It's not easy. It probably won't get any easier anytime soon, but just hang in there.
For those without health insurance or employee assistance programs, the Department of Health and Human Services offers medical assistance through a number of programs for families, and they may be able to connect you with a mental health professional. To learn how to apply for benefits, visit the link on our website, fox5vegas.com. I'm Maddie White, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Henderson police are talking turkey and giving back this holiday season. 7 local companies joined forces with the police department to provide more than 200 meals to families in several public and charter elementary schools in Henderson. All the families had to do was put their name on a list, and police took care of the rest. Several doctors also chipped in hundreds of dollars. Next week, turkey dinners will be served with all the trimmings.
This was just a great opportunity to be able to give back to the community and just let them know that they're not alone, that we're here to help them as well.
The families have already been selected. They are being notified to pick up their meals at the Henderson Police Officers Association building that is off Panama Street. That will happen next Tuesday, November 24th, starting at 8 a.m.
Now, Fox 5 weather 24/7.
Well, look at this time-lapse photography from Reno and showing you the southwestern portion of that location with the wildfires that just before the sun officially set, we're really getting going. See a lot of flames there, and also watch that smoke because it's just kind of strewn about, indicative of some of the stronger gusty winds that they've had up there to 30 miles an hour. We'll be 30 to 40 miles an hour up there overnight, then 30 miles an hour tomorrow. But the good news is the rain shower activity expected to move into that area. Take a look at the latest radar and showing you some of the rain trying to fall right now, taking a while before it actually does hit the ground, but it's just increasing that humidity level, and that tends to slow that fire just a little bit, and that's going to allow some of these firefighters to get a leg up on a lot of these flames out there. But much more rain to move through the area, right around a 60-70% chance of rain for Reno for tomorrow, so that's good news. Still have the wind, but we'll get the rain also. That's all part of the same system that's going to be moving through the area tonight and tomorrow and picking up our winds to the tune of 30 miles an hour. Check out this time lapse with some of the advancing clouds that will be moving through and have moved through tonight. That was from downtown Henderson. Also this, a little bit of a breeze moving through downtown Henderson this afternoon, and also this evening and overnight we get the 10 to 20 mile an hour winds out there around the area. Some of these breezes already starting just a little bit, nothing to write home about, but just a little bit increasing those winds that we will see over the course of the next couple of hours. Winds don't really get going until we cross over into tomorrow. Just look right after midnight tonight. Some of the far western and also southwest portions of the Las Vegas Valley will start to see those gusts into the 20, 25 mile an hour range. And then tomorrow those wind speeds spread out. Of course, stronger winds in the upper elevations around the valley. But through the day tomorrow, we'll get those gusty winds topping out around 30 miles an hour. So below wind advisory criteria, which is around 40 miles an hour. If we see those gusty winds forecast to that mark, we'll get a wind advisory. These winds will be below that, but still a windy day, especially when we've been so calm over the last couple of days. By Thursday, wind speeds do decrease back down to single-digit winds. So let's take a look at your forecast tomorrow. 76 degrees, at record high 79. We were at 77 today and 3 degrees away from a record. Tomorrow, 3 degrees shy of a record. Don't think we'll see that, but we'll be in the ballpark. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. 76, then around 70 degrees through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then 65 degrees and 66 for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Each one of these temperatures on the 7-day forecast is above average, just by a couple of degrees by the time we get to Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. But you get the idea. No big cool down for us as we head through the next several days and your weekend. It will be cooler than the last weekend, but 69 and 66, pretty darn nice for this time of the year. Get this week in 1964, Las Vegas recorded a high temperature of just 42 degrees. It is the coolest daytime high ever in November. Don't see that anytime soon for us. That is the stat of the night.
Raise a Glass, a new spot for brunch at Lake Las Vegas. We'll give you a first look inside.
I'll share an update from UNLV Athletics regarding their COVID-19 testing on their UNLV football team after a report came out today claiming that Saturday's game against Colorado State has been canceled due to issues with COVID-19 on the UNLV football team.
You're watching Fox 5 News at 10. Local, Las Vegas. Fox 5 News is sponsored by Richard Harris Law Firm. Call 702-444-4444.
All the little girls' dream comes true, and the flowers are always blooming.
Look at that new place to brunch in Lake Las Vegas. We're getting a first look at tonight. Take a look at Mrs. Coco. How cute is that? On the menu, it's crepes, pastries, and specialty coffee. It's open 7 days a week for breakfast and lunch. The owner tells Fox 5 the dreamy space is inspired by her European roots.
I used to live in long years in Paris, where the people spending hours to sitting down and having a nice champagne. And basically in the US, this is not really common. and I would like to bring over.
I hear that Parisian music in the background. Mercedes opened up shop in Lake Las Vegas because it's the spot where she and her husband met and fell in love 10 years ago.
Help for rent, utilities, and even a mortgage is available. Find out how you can take advantage. Still to come.
Vaccines are in the works. Our Fox 5 expert talks about the race to get them to his frontline healthcare workers and also when we might return to something resembling normal life.
Closed captioning on Fox 5, sponsored by Ed Bernstein.
Enough said. Call Ed.
This is Fox 5 News at 10, local, Las Vegas.
Bright lights out there across Las Vegas tonight. Keeping the lights on in many homes seems to be getting tougher and tougher with COVID. But tonight, there's not only more money to keep electricity flowing to your home, there's also new money to help pay your rent and mortgage.
Just today, the Clark County Board of Commissioners approved $30 million in federal CARES Act cash, and that's already on top of the $50 million from the county and the state. Fox 5's Joe Viel showing us how you can get some of it.
Well, COVID has stopped so many things, but what it didn't stop, as many of you know, is the electricity bill, the rent, the mortgage. Tough to pay considering many people haven't had a paycheck in months.
A little Tuesday night jam at the Brown House in Las Vegas. Greg Brown and his 11-year-old special needs son found the beat. It's been a while since Greg has had a paying gig.
Now I'm having flashbacks.
As a longtime musician.
We finished March 6th at the Mirage in One Oak Club with Matt Goss. That was my last paying show, and it's been a long time.
And it's not his son Marcus's Eddie Van Halen riff that keeps Greg up at night. It's all those bills that keep coming, specifically the electric bill.
I owe them about $4,000 or $5,000 right now. Your bills don't go nowhere. You know, just I feel like there's a big rock just on my shoulder, and sooner or later my legs are gonna give out.
And while Greg deals with the bills, Mara Brown is mom, caretaker to their 2 special needs kids, and teacher as they study at home.
Are you tired?
Very. Very.
Me too.
The Browns didn't know about all the federal CARES Act money still available through Clark County to help cover COVID-related costs.
We've had about 40,000 households apply, and that may sound like a lot, but we're anticipating about 120,000 households will need help.
You're seeing here is a landing page.
Clark County officials walked us through the application process. You'll first answer a few questions to see if you're eligible. If you are, you will then fill in details about income, family size, and your financial needs. If approved, you could not only get back rent, but future rent to keep you in your home. And even if you've received unemployment benefits, you could still be eligible. The county says the process only takes 15 or 20 minutes.
If you can buy something on Amazon, you can apply for rental assistance. It's that easy.
Birch says average payments have been around $3,500.
Any kind of help would help me sleep.
Money that would take a bite out of bills here until Greg can get back to his band.
Thank you. My name is Morgan.
Sounded pretty good tonight. So, important website behind me. This is the website to apply for rent and utility help. chap.clarkcountynv.gov. Now, the county urges anyone with a COVID-related hardship to apply right away because the money has to be earmarked by the end of December. Now, this also includes mortgage payments. And by the way, if you're approved, the money doesn't go directly to you. It goes to your rental or utility company or your mortgage provider.
Thanks, Joe. In the meantime, so many small businesses out there are depending on holiday spending to stay afloat, especially those in food service. Fox 5's Kara Kazuka showing us the shop pushing pies this Thanksgiving.
At the beginning of the pandemic, Drago Sisters Bakery made the difficult decision to shut down for 3 months.
Business-wise, we could have probably stayed open, but I got foster kids at the same time that were permanently placed with me at the same time, so we decided to shut down for everybody's safety.
Tori Thomas is the owner. She says she experienced a big life change this year.
The foster kids I have are distant relatives. They're third cousins. They're placed with me permanently. I'll be adopting them.
With more people to care for, the pandemic has not only impacted Thomas's business, but her personal life too.
It's been a little bit nerve-wracking there because now I have kids to worry about getting sick and all that. Before it's just me, so having kids involved is a little bit scarier.
A fear that many in our community share. Thomas says the bakery is doing everything it can to make sure customers are safe.
We check our temperatures every morning. We wash our hands constantly. We have sanitizer. We bleach everything between customers.
Thanksgiving is normally a busy time of year for the small business, especially for pies.
Last year we had a lot more pie orders. We had about 100 pie orders last year. This year we're about half.
While Thomas and staff don't know what the future holds, they're hoping for the best this holiday season.
If we don't get the business, then we don't have the money, then we don't have the employees to pay. So it just, having the customers that come in and support small businesses will help all the way around. Not just my family, but my employees' families as well.
In Kira Kazuka, Fox 5 News, Local, Las Vegas.
A Fox 5 update now. The deadly shooting investigation underway tonight at the Las Vegas car wash. It happened at the Go Car Wash on Charleston and Lindell. Here's what we know. A man was shot a number of times while he was vacuuming his car. He was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. The victim's wife was sitting in the passenger seat and was not hurt. It happened during a busy time at 2 in the afternoon. Metro was interviewing the dozens of witnesses out there. Investigators are also looking for any surveillance. They do believe there is a relationship between the shooter and the victim, but have not said what that could be. The suspect took off in a car and remains at large tonight. Be the first to know about all the breaking news in our valley. Download our mobile app and watch our live streams anytime we're on the air.
Hospitals in the valley are once again changing visitor policies as COVID cases surge. Dignity Health St. Rose Dominican Hospitals announced that only one visitor will be allowed per patient per day. Everyone must be screened at the main entrance. No visitors under the age of 18. That policy goes into effect tomorrow. This past week has been a roller coaster of news concerning coronavirus. The 14-day average of new cases is up 82% across the country. But at the same time, Pfizer and Moderna both report promising results of their coronavirus vaccines and offer us a way out of the pandemic. So when might we return to anything that looks like normal? That was our first question for tonight's Fox 5 expert, Dr. Joe Corcoran, Chief Medical Officer for HCA Healthcare Far West Division.
I think what most reasonable opinions are centering around is that sometime toward the latter half of 2021, we will be more normalized around what life is like in the COVID era. And hopefully nothing will come along and knock us off of that timeline. It concerns me that this is going to last much longer because, John, my biggest concern is about the healthcare heroes that are still delivering care day in and day out for the sickest of our neighbors. Everyone was kind of hoping that we would get a break over the summer and that we would be allowed to exhale. But a lot of these nurses and doctors and respiratory therapists and physical therapists and food service people and environmental services people never got the break that we were hoping for. So I'm really worried about whether we can keep our people at the front line healthy and focused on their work. Because, John, if we can't keep ourselves healthy and our frontline teams healthy, who's going to be able to take care of patients?
Do we know where these new cases are coming from?
I think some of it is because we're wearing masks, but we're not necessarily wearing them all the time. I think we are letting our guard down a little bit. I also think that there have been more tourists coming in. I think that there have been more gatherings of where people aren't quite as vigilant as they need to be.
What are your concerns now as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday with all the families getting together?
I'm concerned. I am concerned. I think that we've got a real risk with people getting very relaxed around their loved ones. And we should be relaxed around our family. I just read something out of the CDC this afternoon that talked about, think about who is the most vulnerable in your family. And then everybody kind of play to that level, right? If you've got parents or grandparents who will be part of your Thanksgiving celebration, make sure that you are, especially around them, being extra mindful about social distancing, masking when you can't maintain 6 feet, washing hands for the full 20 seconds, sing happy birthday to you twice. Don't just give it a rinse and go. We really have to look out for those who are most vulnerable in our families. We certainly don't want to be the ones to bring anything to the table that leaves a negative lasting impression, right?
You can rewatch this interview anytime. It's on our website, fox5vegas.com. While you're there, you can catch past interviews with our other Fox 5 experts.
And more local news right now. A report that this weekend's UNLV game against Colorado State was canceled is just not true. Fox 5's Paloma Villicana showing us that the Rebels hope to score their first win.
As of now, UNLV football is still planning to play Colorado State this Saturday for a 2:35 kickoff in Fort Collins. But there was a report today from Football Scoop claiming that Saturday's game had been canceled due to COVID-19 issues on the UNLV football team. Now, Colorado State's head coach Steve Adazio was asked in his Zoom call today if he had heard about the report or if there had been any changes made to Saturday's game. And he said no, he hadn't heard about the report, but he did receive a phone call today hearing that there are some issues from UNLV ahead of Saturday's game, but that Saturday's matchup against UNLV in their house at Colorado State was not canceled. Now, a spokesperson from UNLV Athletics told me tonight, nothing new to report. We constantly monitor and follow all health and safety protocols. We tested this morning and are awaiting those results. They should be back tomorrow. Now, UNLV football players also told us today they were not told Saturday's game is canceled and are still preparing for Colorado State this Saturday. The Rebels are 0-4 and still looking for their first win of the season. Here's what head coach Marcus Arroyo is telling his players this week.
Really, we have to have urgency. Like, we don't have to panic, but we have to be urgent. Things aren't gonna go our way or come easy. Like, we gotta work for stuff that's in front of us. There's no magic pill. He always says the little quote on LeBron's hat is, "There's no magic pill." You gotta put in the work and the time to get where you want to be at in life, and even in this sport. So honestly, people have to realize, like, it's a process, like he said. Things might not happen overnight, but when they do start happening, you'll see that the culture was a big reason of that.
So kickoff is still set for 2:35 this Saturday against Colorado State in Fort Collins. But if there are any changes made to UNLV's game, I'll be sure to share that right here on Fox 5. I'm Paloma Villicana, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
Singing Solution, the mask innovation allowing performers to sing safely.
Temperatures tomorrow within a few degrees of a record high, but it's the wind grabbing the headlines. We'll tell you how strong that'll be coming up.
Do you ever shut up?
Showdown in San Francisco, confronting our neighbor on these racist rants. The moment racking up shares on social media.
The governor has taken a lot of flack when it comes to his handling of COVID and forgetting COVID. Now, to throw it right back at the governor's critics. You'll hear it in the rant coming up. You like local news? Isn't it time you liked your local news app on your phone and on streaming TV?
The Fox 5 News app. Live, local, free.
A Montana couple is offering a singing solution to a pandemic problem.
And inside Cyprus.
For the past 20 years, John and Robin Rose have sold music folders and choir robes from their Missoula business. When the pandemic hit, though, sales fell flat. But the couple found another need, masks that allow for singing. So they presented their idea at an online music trade show, and the rest is history. Soon production started on the resident singer's mask. Now it's difficult to keep supplies in stock.
It's not easy to breathe when you open your mouth for an ah vowel. Normally, the mask will pull right off your nose. So these ones have a little gusset that open and close when you open your mouth. And they also stay off your mouth so you can take a deep breath in without sucking fabric into your mouth.
So we have a really long moldable nose wear here, and underneath on the underside is a silicone strip all the way across. So people that wear glasses don't fog up.
50,000 masks sold so far, including to high school choirs and University of Montana performers.
Turning the tables, a woman confronts her neighbor for her racist rants. As Betty Yu tells us, the caught-on-camera moment is now racking up tens of thousands on social media.
Do you ever shut the up? Ever shut the up in front of my door with your racist
Autumn Tillman, the woman heard in this viral video, says she had had enough.
Every day you are this, Asians that.
She says her neighbor has been making racist rants in the hallway of their mid-market building for years and recently started going after Asians.
That go live in Asia. Funny how it's a white country. 200 years of white supremacy. If you thought Asian lives matter, they don't matter to us one bit.
Nobody should ever have to hear that they have to go back to their own country or anything like that. I'm sorry. My building is like 70% of Asian families.
It's why Autumn, who's also a singer, said she decided to speak up and posted this video to her Instagram. She also grew up in San Francisco.
Asian people have been there for the Black community. They're always on the front line with their signs demanding justice for my community. They're always on social media. When you go to a lot of Asian people, like you go to their social media, you see the Black Lives Matter hashtags.
Bye. Goodbye.
The video has since racked up more than 120,000 views. And Autumn says she's received an outpouring of gratitude from the Asian community.
I thank her for it, you know. I mean, you know, like nobody really talks to him or whatever, you know, like, but then for him to always come out the side of his neck and always saying comments like that.
I met David Rosner in the hallway of the building, and while much of what he said was nonsensical.
Are you a white supremacist?
I would prefer everyone being white. I would prefer using Aryan genetics to make every person a white person and a male. We don't really see any need at this point for people of color.
What do you say to your neighbors who aren't white who find it offensive?
You just go about your life. I go about mine.
As for Autumn, she's working on a website called Blacks for Asian Lives Matter to unite the communities.
If someone's talking about someone's ethnicity, making fun of it, whatever, please stick up for them. Because all it takes is just a voice.
Unbelievable. The property manager says police have been called on a few occasions, but no arrests have ever been made.
A lot of the rants we've gotten this week have been on the surge of COVID cases. A lot of you have given the governor grief here for contracting the virus after he spent so much of the year pressing the rest of us to wear a mask and stay safe. So here's Tamush to answer some of that criticism. I'm thinking that people giving the governor grief must either be tuning out to what the expert scientists say or just flat refuse to understand how this virus works. Are these same people questioning how the guy in charge, the president, who is the most protected person in the country, got COVID? Here is John. So the governor has coronavirus. Does anyone smell a ploy to keep us in this petri dish, our homes, where the virus has nowhere to go but back into us? This man has always been a bully, but I truly hope he recovers soon. I may not like him, but he is in my prayers. And Sue telling us what a lot of you have about smokers in the casinos. If I have to wear a mask to protect someone else, then why should I, if I want to support gaming, be subjected to someone blowing a cigar or cigarette smoke in my face while they don't wear a mask while they're smoking? Let's get the job done right now before we are shut down again. And we have voicemails.
It isn't going to make any difference because once you open it back up, we're still going to end up right back where we are now. It's not going to make any difference, except for the economy. It's going to ruin the economy and people's jobs.
To all the people bashing Governor Sisolak, if he shuts down the city, guess what? People are going to complain. If he leaves it open and people get sick because of it, people are going to complain. So give the guy a freaking break. How can he win? How can anybody win with this situation we got going on?
Alan was one of those who got a COVID test at a drive-through location at Texas Station. A big thank you to the National Guard assisting the COVID testing. I had a test at Texas Station, and it could not have been any smoother. Now the bad. The Southern Nevada Health District website stinks as you cannot get results. The system keeps timing out. Between DETR and SNHD, it shows how we are lagging in technology. Jeff reminds us customer service is still a thing. I called Gowden Ford needing a critical part for my truck. I explained that my truck doesn't run, and I asked if they delivered. Well, Matt in Part said he lives in my community, and after he gets off work, he would drop it by. Matt is an example of the awesome people here in Las Vegas. Thank you, Matt. This is the place for you to be heard. The email address is therant@fox5vegas.com. Give us a call. The number is 702-436-8285.
Now, Fox 5 weather 24/7.
Well, another look at this time lapse showing the fires that are burning in the southwest portion of Reno and up into the foothills. See some flames on this video. Also looks like a lot of wind also there, the way the smoke is blowing around, at least when there was a little more light right there is what I'm talking about during the day. And they'll be subject to 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts overnight. Same type of winds tomorrow to 30 miles an hour. But also with some rain shower activity that moves in as soon as overnight. Well, let's take a look at that shower activity that moves now. Reno is about 4,500 feet in elevation. That snow level down to about 7,000 feet. So as the foothills kind of creep up in elevation to the southwest where that fire is burning, it'll be close to that snow level overnight tonight as the shower activity turns to the more frozen type of precipitation over Reno. We're going to show you a futurecast coming up. This is the live radar right now, the shower activity that is moving into the area. So here's Reno right now. As we get into the overnight hours, that rain mix line or that almost frozen precipitation line gets a little closer. And they're going to drop down to the low 40s overnight. Into your Thursday morning up there, they drop down to 32 degrees. The wildfires, a bunch of wind, some rain, possible snow, then freezing temperatures coming up in the next 36 hours. Let's show you a little bit about what we're experiencing down below. It's the same system that system is bringing us the wind, as a matter of fact. Same system rolling through that area that's rolling through our area. Tonight, wind not bad. Taking a look at downtown Henderson with the Fox 5 drone earlier tonight. Wind was just starting to pick up a little bit there. 10 to 15 miles an hour. Here's where we start. 55 degrees tomorrow, 53 degrees in Henderson, 58 in Pahrump. But we get that wind outside, not bad right now. Just a little bit of an increase of what we've seen at this point of the night, the last few nights, into the 10 to 15 mile an hour range in some areas right now. But the satellite radar showing you that system quickly approaching our area, and the wind speeds tomorrow pick up mid-morning into the afternoon and beyond. Now, these are sustained winds of the 20 mile an hour range. We'll get those gusts around 30 miles an hour, though, for most of the afternoon tomorrow. Still breezy in the evening. So if you have something to do that's wind sensitive, do it early tomorrow, because by mid-morning, some of that wind does pick up. Now, not the strongest wind we've seen, only to 30 miles an hour. And we're still going to be warm out there. But after a stretch of almost completely calm days, it's going to be quite a change tomorrow in the afternoon and evening. So windy tomorrow, gusting speeds to 30 miles an hour. Record is 79, 77 are expected high, and then right around 70 degrees through Saturday, then mid-60s Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. These temperatures, every single one of them, above where we should be for this time of the year. Average high today, 66. Average high tomorrow, 65. So we'll be some 12 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year.
All right, Ted, thank you so much. And here's a look at what's coming up in less than 10 minutes. After widespread claims of censorship and political bias, the bosses of major social media companies respond to lawmakers' concerns. Local businesses struggling to stay afloat as COVID-19 cases continue to climb. How a local spa plagued by misfortune was hit with another unexpected blow. And confidence continues to grow in the Raiders. The Silver and Black have won 4 of their last 5, including 3 straight. Our sports team breaks down how the team might have just found the recipe for long-term success.
At Honda, we take the holidays seriously. Both with serious top performance and serious design. So while others may be rushing to get that last item on their wish list, you could enjoy peace of mind knowing you got a great offer on the best gift of the season. Now's the best time to get into a new Honda. KVVU.com's best value brand for 2020. Visit Happy Honda Days at your local Honda dealer or shop online to get a great offer on the Accord.
Home Depot is giving thousands of workers a permanent raise. The retailer has been thriving during the pandemic, with more people staying home and spending money on projects around the house. The company's stock is up nearly 25% this year, and now Home Depot is planning to invest $1 billion annually on increased worker benefits. We continue to track a wildfire in Reno. It is a terrible fire. Many homes have burned. Hundreds more are at risk, and it's being driven by high winds. We're going to have the very latest for you. Ted will tell us what the conditions are up there, if they're going to give firefighters any kind of break. It's all coming up in just a few moments right here. Taking a look at our own valley. A beautiful forecast on the way as well.
Fox 5 News is sponsored by Madrala Law. Relax, it's Madrala. Before you hit the road, get your Fox 5 News traffic solutions with Ken Smith. Weekday mornings 4 to 9.